This is my favorite picture I found. We have Luke is going to give his craft talk.
Speaking of citations.
Yes. Did you get one?
What is your sign?
Did you get my email?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, thank
Keep
you.
talking.
This was years ago on the plaza. So I'm Luke Scown. I have been a member here for over a year now, and so I'm finally getting around to doing my craft talk. Nick cornered me the other day, and so I figured that was a sign. All right, a little history about me. I am a sixth generation Humboldt County native. My family settled here in 1852 on Bear River. I was born and lived in Eureka till I was 5, and then I moved down to Southern Humboldt to Dean Creek area. I grew up on a cattle ranch down there, and where I stayed until graduating high school from South Fork, and then I joined.
Go Cubs!
I joined the Air Force right in 2000, because certainly nothing bad's going to happen. So I distinctly remember telling my mom, like, everything's fine. Like, the world is relatively at peace. Everything goes fine. And then September 11th happened. I deployed twice. I was in Saudi Arabia and Cyprus during the wars, or the starts of the wars. Fortunately, nothing horrible happened to me, but it was not all fun at the same time. So, but great experience. I then took my GI Bill and went to Humboldt State. Got a degree in business administration with a minor in economics. And while I was doing that, I was doing residential construction and building houses with a small contractor here locally. And so I wanted to kind of learn a skill, and I was a police officer in the Air Force, and doing that, I was like, I don't want to be a cop. I had always thought I wanted to be a cop as a kid, and having that experience, it kind of made me reassess my options. And so I went to school with the intent of doing something else. I didn't know what, but something. So I did construction for about 8 years, but I kept coming back to wanting to be a police officer. I would see police officers doing traffic stops on the side of the road, and I was always like, I want to do that. What are they doing? What's going on? I just wanted to be involved. And so finally I said, screw it, I'm going to go put myself through the police academy. At that point, so I did, and got hired on at Arcata. So picture me in the Air Force. So this is me as a kid. The sign there is taking up my head, dressed up, and little strange fact about myself, that is my wife. So we were neighbors growing up until I was about 5. So we have lots of childhood photos together. How do I
Now you are from Southern Humboldt as I am. Now you were not married at that time.
No, I was not. Thank you.
And, people say stuff about it.
Right, and we were neighbors in Eureka, so that would have been different.
Okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been allowed then. So I now, my wife and I have been married we just had our 15-year anniversary. We've been together for 20 years. We ended up, after about 5 years old, we had no interaction with each other pretty much until my mom ran into her dad in Eureka and set us up on a date. And so we've been together since. These are my kids here in the corners, Jacob, Claire, my wife down here, Caitlin. That's my son, and my brother is cut out of the picture there fishing up in Oregon. And so we like to travel, go places. This year we went to, some of these pictures are in Michigan, on Lake Michigan. We've gone, my wife and I have spent quite a bit of time in Europe, traveling around. Growing up, I was always involved in service stuff. I was in 4-H since a little kid all the way through high school. And so that's just been a big part of my life. I don't know how to use
Sorry, every
these
time.
things. There we go. Okay. All right. All right. So that's personally me. Professionally, I've been a police officer here in the city of Arcata for 10 years. I have been a patrol officer. I was the downtown bicycle patrol officer. That picture you saw there, and here's another one of me. I've been a field training officer. I've trained a lot of the officers that we currently have. I did 3 years as a detective doing major crime investigation here, and recently transferred out of that, and now I've promoted to this just within the last 4 or 5 months. I'm now a sergeant in charge of our community outreach team, which does our community ambassadors, and we're hoping to grow it. If we can get our staffing up, we'll have some additional resources, and we'll be able to do more stuff with mental health and homeless community kind of outreach and things like that. I'm also I teach out at the police academy, way more than I should, so why Rotary? My grandfather was John Morrison, and he was a charter member of Eureka Southwest Rotary. And as a little kid, I remember going to Rotary. So it's always been something that I've just kind of been involved with. And that's why I'm here. Terry, I ran into Terry at a thing at Southwest Rotary for my grandpa, and she invited me.
Because I like to recruit people at memorials.
Yeah.
We loved the judge. He was awesome.
And that's it.